Coming up, Yvonne Lendl against Pat Cash. And Yvonne Lendl and Brent Musburger were just discussing something that I think a lot of people misinterpret from time to time, particularly in the case of the young foreign players, like a young Yvonne Lendl, like a Hanna Mandlikova. Now, here's another thing I want to talk about, too, because there's no point in talking now. Planes are coming out of LaGuardia Airport. Tony, I think many times the viewers, the readers, the people that watch tennis forget the fact that a person like Mandlikova or Lendl, particularly in the early days, don't understand the language, don't know exactly how to respond to the questions, and sometimes it comes out like they might be arrogant, sometimes it sounds like they might be disrespectful.
Well, I certainly agree with that, Pat. You know, I found out as a player when I go to other countries and I tried to speak some French and certainly didn't speak it fluently, sometimes they would ask me questions in French and I didn't understand exactly what they said, and I didn't say what I thought I was saying some of the time. So you can have some problems that way. You know, they're under enormous pressure. And obviously language barrier is better and better for Lendl. I thought he said it very nicely. They understand me better, I understand them better, and it's a lot more fun. They're getting to know me better.
Now let's talk about something that I alluded to just a minute ago, and that is these airplanes coming out of LaGuardia. Tennis players depend an awful lot on sound, don't they? So that really is a serious distraction.
Well, it really is, because when you take a big swing at the ball, you can tell by the sound whether it's been hit solidly or whether they've brushed around the edge of the ball, and that tells you how fast it's going to come to you. And like, you know, you've always heard the center fielder goes back with the crack of the bat, so the sound told him it was hit well. And what the players are doing now, and very wisely, if they're going to serve, when the plane going over, they take some speed off the serve. Now, to hit a good second serve, the top people will swing just as hard at the second serve as they do at the first serve, but they go around the edge of the ball instead of hitting directly in behind it. So you take the big swing, you take some speed off, and the other guy can't tell that because he can't hear the sound, and so he's thrown off a little bit. That's just smart playing under those conditions.
You just saw the meeting at the net between Cash and Lendl. Under circumstances like this, you're in the semifinals, you have the choice to serve or receive. What would be your strategy in making that decision?
Well, if you're confident at all about your own serve, I would certainly serve first, because when you hold your serve, you got the other person coming uphill all the time. If you get one break, they're farther behind. On the other hand, if I lost my serve once, having started to serve, I get one more shot at breaking back before the set's over. So I would like to serve first, get up on top. There are those that think, and Jimmy Connors is one, because his serve is not a great weapon, and his return is that I'll let him start. I will try to get a break while he's a little nervous and settling in, then I get a jump on him. If I don't get the break, I'm settling myself before I have to serve.
This is Yvonne Lendl on the right side of your picture, and Pat Cash, the 19-year-old Australian, on the left. Let's get back into the contrasting styles again while we have a moment, Tony.
All right, Yvonne Lendl takes looping-type swings at the ball. He hits topspin off both sides, though from time to time he will hit an underspin backhand, as he did just there. He relies heavily on his ground strokes. He does not serve and volley very frequently. He does try to come to net some behind a good approach shot. He's not a bad volleyer, but he's not really confident up there, and I think when he's passed or misses a couple volleys, he puts more premium on that. On the other hand, Pat Cash, very, very quick about the court, has an all-around game, good strokes. The serve sometimes lets him down, but he's getting better and better, and I think you'll be amazed and amused at how well he can cover the court.
You hear it said so many times, and certainly when you get to the tennis at this level, you reach the semifinals of the U.S. Open, you hear it said so many times that a player doesn't have a weapon that he can hurt you with, and that's why in many cases he doesn't make it this far. These two obviously do have weapons. What would you say they are?
Well, the real weapon for Pat Cash is his speed about the court. He doesn't have one shot that we would call a concluder, but he is a very solid all-around player. And if you notice those thighs, they're pretty big, pretty solid. And normally someone that big doesn't always cover the court that well, but it's different in his situation. Yvonne Lendl.
Here's the past record,
right,
first of all. They played twice already.
2-0. But Yvonne Lendl has a good serve, but his big weapon besides the serve is a forehand. When he backs into the backhand corner, he hits what we call the off forehand. He'll hit it back to the backhand side of a right-hander, and he's very, very good with it. He's an all-around player, too. He got the monkey off his back, as he said, by winning the French championships this year, a Grand Slam event, so that's out of his mind, and I expect to see a terrific match.
All right, we'll be back with more tennis action after this word from your local station.
Tony alluded to Pat Cash's size, especially in the leg area. Well, he used to play Australian rules football. Now, of course, he's concentrating solely on tennis. reach the semifinals at Wimbledon than here. And I asked Pat if he was satisfied just reaching the semifinals of this tournament.
I might tend to fall into that, that theory that I'm satisfied, but I'm not really. So I've got to, I've got to get out there and I'm going to try and beat the guys. And I don't worry about the semi-final or first round. I'm just going to go out there and try and win.
And Tony and Pat, he struck me as being confident, almost cocky, and he's a young man who will not back away from trouble. Let's go up to Pat and Tony now.
Well, Brent, one of the criticisms, if that's a correct choice of words, of Pat Cash was his temperament. The fact that he was a little bit too sure of himself, that he might have been a little cocky.
Ladies and gentlemen,
but we'll see.
afternoon.
Well, I watched Pat Cash play throughout Wimbledon this past summer, and his behavior was fine. There was nothing wrong with it at all. I think he did act badly a couple times, and the Australian officials and some friends and family got on him about it. And I think he recognizes his position. He wants to be a good player and well respected. He is confident. He's not cocky necessarily. He's just quietly confident. He knows how well he can play. He knows how good he is now, and he knows he's going to get better.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, sir. You need that if you're going to get up in this strata.
Well, let's check out how he got this far to the semifinals. Pat Cash, Nastasi first, Brad Gilbert second, then Todd Nelson, Greg Holmes, and then Wilander. So if you can beat a person the caliber of Wilander, you've got to have some talent. Lendl. His record is, well, speaks very well for itself.
Brian Teacher in straight sets, Eddie Edwards in 4 sets, Jimmy Brown easily, Anders Jarrett in 3 straight easily, and Andres Gomez. We all thought that was going to be a tougher match against Andres Gomez, and that shows you what kind of a player Lendl is, because Gomez has been playing beautifully. He's ranked 5th in the world, and Lendl handled him.
Serve.
Cash will serve as they wait for the crowd to settle down. In the chair is Charles Beck.
Thank you very much.
Of Conway, New Hampshire. Packed house.
Ready?
And this is what everybody's waiting for. Great day of tennis.
Love 15.
Charles Beck, chair umpire. Sometimes I think he talked about Cash being only 19, and it's hard to believe that man, Ivan Lendl, is just 24. Seems like he's been around a long time.
As you can see, runner-up the last 2 years to Jimmy Connors.
.30. All.
Cash covered the down-the-line passing shot. Lendl barely got there, so couldn't really make much of a shot, but Lendl has the ability to make a lot of those on the run, and normally it is down the line. Also, normally Lendl passes off the backhand down the line.
Somebody up in the stands had one of the balls. Decided whether to throw it back into the court or not. He was leaning toward down the line again.
30-40.
And see, there's no power on this volley because he did a good job just to get to it, and Lendl surprised him by rolling back cross court. That ball's hit a little bit harder on the volley. He couldn't get there early enough to do that. Break point.
Cash has that service motion that takes him forward and takes him to the net, and he gets there in a hurry.
All stems from a toss that goes forward into the court, so you're leaning in, and as you're hitting, you're taking your first step forward.
Advantage, Cash.
Did you hear, Pat, while we're doing our opening, whether Cash won the toss or whether Lendl won it?
No, I didn't.
Because thinking about it, if Lendl thought that Pat Cash might be nervous starting out, more nervous than normal, he might have won the toss and let him serve, trying to get that early break. I understand Cash did win the toss, and he's elected to serve.
Won't see that happen very often. That is Lendl at the net.
Here's a look at Pat Cash's serve. The hands come up together, leaning into the court. Feet come off the ground. Good wrist snap that you have to get speed and or spin. Live at deuce.
Advantage, Lendl.
Another break point for Lendl. First game, first set. That serve fell very, very short. And if you play a guy that's going to take your second serve and try to come in off of it, that's the kind you'd come in behind.
Is a tough second serve.
Deuce.
And I think something really surprised Lendl for going for something like that on the second serve down a break point.
Advantage, Cash. Game, Cash.
Struggle. Cash holds. He leads 1-love. First set.
Cash wins the first game of the match.
Ivan Lendl set to serve to Pat Cash. Love won first set. And now Lendl will take some time until seats are found. What little breeze there is at Lendl's back.
Love 15.
Tomorrow, don't forget, the NFL Today starts at all, 12:30 Eastern Time. Dallas will be at New York. Minnesota, Philadelphia, Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Green Bay at the Los Angeles Raiders. Check your local listings. Speaking of the NFL, Commissioner Pete Rozelle on his lovely wife Carrie alongside. Both avid tennis fans. Dan Rather in front. So we got just about every day of the week covered. There's Mike Wallace.
When you play with the commissioner, you want to cover down the alley in the deuce court. He likes to go down there with his forehand.
He's got a little stuff on everything. Plays tennis like he negotiates.
Short second serve.
Love 40.
3 break points. If Cash does that a few times early and does it with any success, Lendl might have to change his serving strategy, and I'll get that in just a moment.
3-love Cash.
Cash leads 2 games to love.
Well, there's an early swing. Lendl had 2 break points on Cash's first serve. Couldn't capitalize. Now Cash is broken, so he gets the early jump.
5 breaks.
We'll check feedback.
Who works with Lendl. Friend. Had an excellent career himself.
Love.
Lendl thought the ball took a funny bounce, I think.
Well, Cash put a little kick on that one. Called American twist. Hit jumps up and away from the right hand to the backhand side.
Ran around and hit a forehand winner.
30 love.
30 love, Bubba.
I remember a couple of years ago asking Jimmy Connors who he saw on the horizon as a rising young star, and that was the first name out of his mouth, Pat Cash. That was close.
That's just too good.
Love.
Some sight, this huge panorama. Men's semifinals, Ivan Lendl against Pat Cash. Double fault. His first one.
40-15.
Aim to Cash, and he leads 3-love in the first set.
Cash leads 3 love.
Pat Summerall and Tony Trabert. Lendl and Cash, men's semifinal. Lendl serving. Love 3.
Love. Love.
That's out.
40 love.
Cash thought it was out.
Looked out from our vantage point.
Sure did. Looked well out.
There's another look. It's always tough when you do it on a replay when it's crossing a line. It's easier to tell it's going along the line. At any rate, it's 45. Lendl has stopped hitting his hard first serve, taking some speed off to get the first one in so Cash can't come in behind it.
That is vintage Lendl. That powerful forehand.
3 games to 1.
Cash leads 3-1, first set. Men's semifinals.
When he hits the ball ball, the forehand, into the backhand side of a right-hander, he gets more pace on it. See, Lendl's been seated in the top 3 here the last 4 years. When he pulls it into the forehand side, he gets more top on it, doesn't go as fast.
15 love.
Cash doesn't take much time.
And he's very, very fit. He's strong. There's no way, I don't think he's going to get tired no matter how long the match goes.
He could really jump, too.
Wimbledon, he played long doubles matches and singles matches. And he came out firing in the semis.
Oh! 15 all.
He missed it. A little bit too big a swing.
15-30.
A little anxious.
A lot of court. Didn't have to be that hard, did it?
No, and that's why you're more interested in accuracy than you are sheer speed on the volleys. That's why you want to make a short motion.
30 all.
Great Don Budge on the right with his wife Lori in the middle, and big Jake Kramer enjoying the tennis.
A few championships there.
Oof. Talk about talent. When they talk about who might have been the greatest player of all time, those two names always come up.
$40-30.
Von Lendl might still be a little bit tight. He's been in the finals twice, hoping to get there for the 3rd time.
Game check.
Cash serving well. Holds, and he leads 4-1. First set.
Cash leads 4 games to 1.
Ivan Lendl serving now at 1-4, first set.
Dave should join us late. Cash broke Lendl's first serve to go up 2 love.
15 love.
First serve percentages, Cash at 52, Lendl only 38, neither one really good.
All the statistics we'll be giving you throughout the day have been furnished to us by the Burroughs Corporation.
All.
Frankie Parker on the left, Vic Satius on the right, former champions, Hall of Famers.
Lendl serving 15 all. First double fault, 15-30.
Shaky toss that time. Lendl was actually falling backwards when he struck that one. This would give him 2 service breaks in his first set. Crowd stunned.
Buzzing. That's a pretty good call.
We'll see if Cash comes in.
He likes to.
Oh, he's right there.
Guessed right. Everything was right except the mechanics. Still break point.
Boy, that could be a big, big point right there. point by Lendl. Looks like he's out of the point and down 2 service breaks.
I'm sure Pat Cash thought he had that point won. Maybe he relaxed a little bit.
Boy, that's a biggie right there.
2 big points, back to back, won by Lendl. That ball looked long too. That one really looked out.
Advantage Cash.
Take another look, see if we can tell on the replay. You be the judge. Lendl, let's see what he has to say.
Going to call in the judge in the chair, Charles Beck.
I think it's second big mistake this man has made, and I think he has to be changed as soon as possible. Okay. Because it's going to cause trouble either way. He got bad call, I got bad call. Both were this far out.
Well, that's not a bad way to handle it. Ivan says that he got a bad call, I got a bad call. It's a thankless job that these lines people have. He's saying, well, I think we ought to get him changed as soon as possible so we don't have any more trouble. It's break point for Cash.
Deuce.
Back to deuce.
So in your mind, Lendl, can you erase that now, saying, well, it didn't cost me anything? At least it didn't cost me the game.
Advantage Cash.
Break point again for Cash. Number 4 in this game.
Lendl not getting his first serve in with any degree of consistency.
That one looked closer than the other one.
Advantage.
You know, it's a comforting feeling for a tennis player to know that no matter how well your opponent serves, he basically is not going to come in behind it. So if you can't take a good swing at it, you just block it back and you stay in the point.
That's ace number 1 for Ivan.
Advantage Lendl.
Talking about just exactly what Cash did. He just blocked that first serve back.
Yep. And even if it's a little bit short, Ivan isn't really anxious to come to the net. He will do it some of the time.
Just not comfortable.
First serve. Advantage Lendl.
And Cash thought the serve was long. There's no beep from Cyclops, however.
As I mentioned earlier, I was out there with the officials going over that Cyclops situation, and if it doesn't beep and that ball's hit within 12 inches behind the service line, then it is good. Or it's beyond that 12-inch area, then it won't beep at all.
They think it's very accurate.
Right. Well, a super stretch volley that time by Cash. You'll see him not hit this one with a lot of pace, but got it deep. Lendl's way behind the baseline. Now there is a stretch touch back in cross-court volley. Lendl sort of shook his head saying, man, you're not supposed to be able to do that.
If that first volley hadn't been that deep, he would have never gotten there. Another break point.
Advantage Cash.
You know, Lendl only goes to the net about 14.3% of the time. These are stats given to us earlier. Big serve. But when he goes there, Patty wins almost 76% of the time. So you say, why didn't he do it more often? He does pave the way well to the net with good approach shots, but he doesn't do it real frequently.
Advantage Lendl.
Converse, you take Cash, he goes to net 46.6% of the time. And when he's up there, he wins about 67.3%. So he's in there more often. Obviously, you're not going to win quite as many, but different strategy.
Game Lendl.
Game to Lendl. It was a struggle. Lendl holds. Cash leads 4-2 in the first. Very nearly
Cash leads
an
4-2.
outstanding return by Cash, but Lendl wins the game.
By far the longest game of the match thus far.
Ace number 2 for Pat Cash.
15 love.
Great cut.
30 love.
That's the way it's happened so far in this match. Lendl's been to the net only once, won the point. Cash 17 times, won 11 points.
Those soft shots aren't going to beat Cash on the attempted passing shots because he moves so well.
Ball. $30-15.
I think Ivan's going to have to stop taking such a big swing on the return on the backhand side because he's mishit several of them. Cash's serve does jump up high. He's going to probably block it back, perhaps with a little underspin.
He's certainly capable of doing that.
Very unusual point, and the crowd loves it. I don't think I've seen Lendl do this before. A big swing, a lot of backspin. Cash gets there because of his good speed. Now Lendl tries it a topspin lob. It's good enough that Cash can barely get his racket on it. Now from way deep in the court, bingo, right in the corner. Perfectly as we come back live, 40-30.
Cash missed his first serve. Second double fault by Cash.
Deuce.
Lendl pulls back, even.
Boy, that was some shot from Lendl, being that far behind the baseline, and to be able to drive the ball and get it past Pat Cash at the net.
All you can do is watch that one. Ace number 3 by Cash.
Advantage Cash.
Cash holds, and he leads 5-2 in the first set.
Cash leads 5 games to 2. New ball.
At the National Tennis Center, Pat Summerall with Tony Trabert, soon to be joined by John Newcomb. Toughest ticket in New York.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Saturday at the U.S. Open. Tougher even, I think, than Sunday.
quiet please.
I think that's right. I tried to get some for a couple of friends, and they just laughed at me.
The friends didn't laugh, did they?
No, they weren't laughing too much.
5-2 Cash. First set of this men's semifinal. Ivan Lendl will serve. Looking a little bit up into a very bright sun from that end.
Let's see if Cash tries to come in off the second serve.
Low 15.
Little intimidation tactic there, slapping a forehand as hard as he could straight at Cash. Caught the top of the net. Might have heard Ivan in his interview earlier saying, I've been hit plenty of times, and I've hit people plenty of times. Sometimes it's unintentional, and sometimes it's less unintentional. Somehow I think that's a tough kid to scare right there.
He looks like it.
On or off the court.
Good serve, yeah. Spun him wide.
30-15.
And I think that's a thing that some people don't do enough of. Take a little speed off, get a higher percentage, and move it around well. Who says they're going to make them, return them all?
$40-15.
40-15. A lot of balls close to that line. Game to Lendl.
Not a bad try there by Cash. He has the service break.
Cash leads 5-3.
Now he has to concentrate on holding the serve and running out the first set.
I've seen McEnroe tie one shoe, but this is a both shoe trick.
5, please.
I used to kid McEnroe when we were on the Davis Cup team. I said, I'm going to get you a lesson in how to tie shoes so they'll stay tied. Cash to serve, 5-3.
Ace number 4 took him wide.
15 love.
Once again, that serve not hit with maximum pace. As you said, broke it out wide.
Much you can do about that.
You can hit that serve a little deeper.
Yeah. That would be one area. Perhaps Cash should work.
Forehand volley at times can be, a little bit of a problem. And of course, it's all relative. Again, we're talking about, being in the semis of the U.S. Open. We're not talking about playing at your club on the weekend.
That one missed.
30-15.
Lendl's hit a lot of balls. He always does.
Well, he comes up from underneath the flight of the ball. Both edges of the racket are going to intercept the flight of the ball, and if you don't watch it perfectly, you're going to catch one of those edges.
30-15.
Short volleys.
He does cover the net well.
40-15.
And it's 2 set points now for Australia's Pat Cash. Incidentally, Pat, this match is going down to Australia on 9's Wide World of Sports. I want to say hi to all the viewers down there. I know they're very ecstatic the way this match is going thus far.
Pat Cash has played extremely well.
There it is.
Game in first set. Cash 6-3.
Cash wins the first set 6-3. You look at New York in the background. We'll be back with more tennis action after this word from your local station. Pat Summerall, Tony Trabert.
Please be seated.
Pat Cash won the first set over Ivan Lendl 6-3.
Took 41 minutes for that first set. It's a tough place to get everybody settled down on court changes because there aren't enough exits for all the people trying to get in and out.
And a lot of people here. Packed house. They have changed
15
the
love.
lines person. Where they had the discussion before, they've changed and replaced him with a Newman.
About every hour they change officials anyway.
30 love.
That's how Lendl has such a high winning percentage when he does go to the net, because he comes in on good stuff. You don't have to be a great volleyer. And he passes up a lot of opportunities to go into the net.
Badly mishit serve.
14-15.
Second double fault by Lendl. Lendl holds serve in the first game of the second set. Cash won the first set. The wind has freshened just a little bit more. As you look at the New York City skyline in the background and National Tennis Center Stadium. Have Cash serving. Love won second set.
Love.
an outright winner.
30 love.
You know, when you see a guy roll the shot, go over it like that, you sort of expect it to come cross court the majority of the time, and Cash hits a good topspin backhand down the line.
40 love.
Another thing he does very well is he changes up on his first serve. Doesn't give him the same smoke every time.
Short approach shot.
Game Cash.
That could have been trouble. Lendl hit it into the net. It's 1-all second set.
Cash lost one set en route to the semis. That was to Mats Wilander. And Ivan Lendl's lost one set. That was to Eddie Edwards in the second round. So they've both cruised pretty well. Now again, I'll be surprised if Cash doesn't try to come in off the return here. Put pressure on. Pretty deep serve.
$15 love.
A little bit.
No! 13-15.
I think there's been a lot of talk about the speed of these courts. Some say they might be too fast, but that's not the only factor.
No, I think they're using a light ball, a fast ball. I think they'd be better off with a heavy-duty ball, which would make it a little tougher for the server, and you'd then have more rallies. I think it'd be smart to slow it down a little bit.
Good shot. That's frightening.
40-30.
Just out.
Game Lendl.
Game to Lendl, and he leads 2 games to 1 in the second set.
Please be seated.
Men's semifinal. Ivan Lendl against Pat Cash. Lendl seated number 2, Cash number 15. Pat won the first set 6-3. It's 2-1 Lendl in the second. We mentioned we're being seen and heard in Australia. We're also being heard and seen in Canada via CBC. Those of you, our cousins to the north, welcome to our semifinal broadcast of the 1984 U.S. Open. Get that sinking feeling. That ball goes over your head like that. There's nothing you can do.
Nope.
Lendl's been to the net 3 times, won all 3 points. Cash 17 out of 26, which is not bad.
Not bad against the number 2 seed.
And with the ground strokes that he has.
Love 30.
First time Cash has been behind on his serve, Love 30 in the match. Only the second time he lost the first point on his serve. Good chance for Lendl here.
Both players had a little difficulty serving from that end.
It's out.
40.
3 break points for Lendl. Well, I have the opportunity. I'd like to congratulate Coach Dick Leach, who's won the Wilson Intercollegiate Tennis Coach of the Year 4 years at the University of Southern California. His teams have won 141 and only lost 29. Great job by Coach Leach.
Cash thought he had an ace. Lendl still has 2 break points.
I don't recall seeing Lendl miss as many forehands as he's missed thus far. They're the unforced errors. So one guy's charging more in cash, so he's going to have to make more errors.
Won 2 points with that topspin lob.
Lendl leads
Vicious
3-1.
swing. Here's another look. Because he tops the drives anyway, you can't tell it's coming. Cash has quit already because he knows he has no hope. The only chance is for the ball to go long. So first break of the match for Ivan Lendl.
He leads 3-1. Second set. Cash won the first.
Love.
Cash does that well, the backhand going the opposite way, the off backhand, because he plays the deuce court in doubles, and he returns in that direction off the backhand.
30 love.
Great return.
Well, you're not kidding.
30-15.
I think Cash has got to continue to try to get to the net at all costs, not stay back in the backcourt and rally and trying to be hitting winners from the backcourt. That's not really his game.
Up. 40-15.
Lendl
leads
4-1 in the second. Lendl and Cash in the men's semifinal. Pat Cash serving, trailing 1-4 in the second. That looks like about the way he started.
I just think that he came out smoking that first part of that first set, got an early break, led 2-love, then held serve for 3-love. He made that one service break stand up. And he's now down a break in the second set to Lendl.
Up. 15 all.
First serve percentage in the first set, Lendl was 48, Cash 50. In the second set, you can see Cash has fallen off a bit and Lendl has picked up a bit.
That's why the results are a little bit different. At least one of the reasons.
30-15.
Pat Cash has changed shirts over the last score change. The match is right now 1 hour old.
One match at Wimbledon this past summer, I think Cash changed about 5 times.
Up. 40-15.
40-15. Pam Shriver enjoying the tennis. Lendl missed.
Game Cash.
Cash holds. It's 4-2 Lendl, second set. Pam Shriver and her
Lendl
partner
leads 4-2.
Martina Navratilova in the women's doubles final.
And they have a 60-some match winning streak, going 68 or something like that.
Incredible. Speaking of Martina, coming up next after Lendl and Cash are through, the women's final. Martina Navratilova, the number 1 seed, against the number 2 seed, Chris Everett Lloyd. Things really held up to form in the women's draw.
Lendl starting to push Cash around a little bit now. Stand a little near that baseline. He's not getting so deep in the rallies.
40
And serving better, as we pointed out with that statistic earlier.
Good shot by Lendl.
He moves out to a 5-2 lead in the second set after Cash won the first set.
5-2. New balls.
Pat Cash set the serve with new balls. He won the first set 6-3. Serving at 2-5 in the second. Lendl has picked up the level of play.
Love.
In 1982, Lendl won 15 tournaments, won over $2 million in prize money. This year, he's won only 2 of 10, though he's been in the finals of 6. And with all that, he's still ranked number 2.
He was unbeatable a couple of years ago, almost.
Except in the big events.
Mm-hmm.
30 love.
30 love.
Lendl might be coasting a little bit on this game, thinking I'll just not worry too much about this one, go hold my serve.
$40 love. $40-15.
40-15. Third double fault by Cash. And the wind probably took its toll on that toss again. Great return. Cash holds.
Cash.
Lendl leads 5-3.
Lendl leads 5-3.
You'll be serving from the end where you don't have to contend with the sunlight and with the wind at his back.
I think that's the play that Cash has to try to make, is come in off the Lendl's second serve. If you can't do it on the run too much, you've got to make sure you make the approach or it doesn't matter.
30 love.
Lendl says there was no beep.
It was beyond 12 inches.
Lendl said, I didn't hear a beep. Was it beyond the 12 or 13 inches? The umpire nodded yes.
Love.
So Lendl has 3 set points.
Cash looking a little shaky now.
Yep. And Lendl trying to get even at a set apiece. Pat Cash couldn't get anything on any of the volleys, but he ended up winning the point anyway. Still set point. So Lendl wins the second set, 6 games to 3.
And we'll be back with more tennis action after this word from your local station. And John Newcomb has just joined us. Pat Cash won the first set 6-3. Von Lendl came back 6-3 in the second. Good to have you, Nuke.
Good to be back.
You played well.
I've been listening to you guys in the dressing room, all the players there, watching the match.
Did you enjoy the center court?
It was fun out there, yeah. The only thing I didn't enjoy, I kept waiting for Tony to send messages down, some coaching.
Lendl did not think the serve was good. Let that be known.
Pat Cash thought it was good.
Lendl still doesn't think it was good. Cash still does.
Something Cash stopped doing in the second set is kicking that serve up on the backhand side of Lendl and coming in behind it. Was effective in the first set.
Up. 40-15.
Number 6 for Pat Cash, and he wins the first game of set number 3.
Wins the first game, third set.
Lendl in the near court.
15
Serving now
love.
wins the first game. Oh, first point of the second game of the third set. Let's go down quickly to Brent Musburger.
Pat, with me is Mike Estep, the coach of Martina Navratilova. And, of course, Martina is about to take center court against Chris Evert-Lloyd for the women's championship. Mike, as we watch Yvonne Lendl serving here, what are your final instructions to Martina today for her championship match?
Well, I'm
30-15.
continue playing similar to the way she's played Chris in the last 12 matches, which is simply attack as much as possible, get in on Chris's second serve, and serve and volley on her own first serve and second serve if possible. The rally shouldn't take too long because Chris is very steady off the baseline, so she needs to do something early in the point.
Let's go up to Pat now.
40-15, Lendl serve.
Pat Cash didn't really make a good volley prior to that smash. He let Lendl get back to the ball. Was a little tentative, I think, on the volley. Lendl has that sawdust in his pocket, and every once in a while he gets a little bit in his eyes. They have to sweep on court changes.
Cash gets even.
Not frightened to go to Lendl's forehand either.
And it's worked. Yvonne has not hit his forehand well, nearly as well as we've seen him do it in the past.
Looks very tentative over there to me.
Advantage to Lendl.
It looks like an eyelash. Maybe it's mixed with sawdust.
Deuce.
You know, Pat Cash has not been attacking in the second set, part of this set, as much as he did the first set, and I think it's been one of the mistakes he's made. You know, you're going to get past some by a guy like Lendl, but if you come in on decent stuff, you got a good chance. I think that is Pat Cash's best opportunity.
I would have thought that after he won the first set, he would have really tried to pour the pressure on and come in a lot. That's the second forehand that Cash has missed in this game. Like he really turned front onto the net too quick.
Lendl comes up with a big serve. Let's go down to Brent once more.
Mike, how is Martina's attitude in this tournament as compared with a year ago?
She's much more relaxed. She's enjoying it a lot more. It's like stopping and smelling the roses. And she's playing well, and she's enjoying her stature in life right now, and it's a lot more fun for her.
How about this particular match we're watching out at the stadium, Pat Cash and Yvonne Lendl? I know you've seen them throughout the tournament. Are you surprised at how well the youngster played in the first set?
No, I'm actually more surprised. He looks a little more hesitant now than he did at the beginning. I don't know if he's coming under some pressure or Lendl's actually making him feel the pressure more. He doesn't seem to be as quick and as decisive as he was early. I don't know if he can get. He's young, so he can still get rejuvenated, but we'll have to wait and see.
Thank you very much, Mike, and good luck. Let's go back outside now to Pat.
Thanks.
And Mike, we'd certainly agree with that observation. He came out really looking strong in the first set.
I know our viewers in Australia will be happy to know that young Mark Kratzmann has won the juniors here, defeating Boris Becker of Germany 6-3, 7-6. Mark doing very well.
Congratulations to Mark.
That's the Wimbledon and United States junior
Right.
titles for Mark now.
Pretty good credits.
Good shot from Lendl. Change of pace, a lot of topspin. You know, the junior titles around the world are taking a lot more. They're taking a lot more notice of them now. If you look at Lendl, about 5 years ago, he won all the junior titles. 2 years ago, Cash won the Wimbledon and United States Juniors. Here they are in the semis of the Open.
Stefan Edberg won them all last year.
Not a good shot from Lendl there, Tony, on the backhand. He was really tentative. I thought he might try to whip it with some topspin.
This wasn't a good shot here either. This little dink is not going to beat a guy as fast as Cash. Cash a little bit tentative on some of his volleys, too. He's giving Lendl extra swings at the ball, and you can't do that against good players. They're going to eventually get it past you.
Not getting him as deep as he was earlier either. That's more like it.
40-30.
Lendl has still only been to the net 3 times. He won all 3 points. Cash up there 41 times has won 28 points.
Game Cash.
Game to Cash, and he wins and leads 2-1 in set number 3.
Cash leads 2-1.
At the U.S. Open in New York City, Pat Cash with his back to you. That's Ivan Lendl. Sets are 1-all. Cash is up 2-1 in the third. Diane Sawyer, who is an avid tennis player and a good player.
I'm a big fan of hers. I think she does a great job. I understand she's going to be doing some things on 60 Minutes.
Joining the cast of 60 Minutes, leaving the CBS Morning News.
Up 40 love. Lendl.
2-2. Third set.
2-all.
John Newcomb is back from his bath and his wars of earlier today. And Nuke, what's been your impression of this so far?
I get the feeling, although they've played 2 sets, that they are still a little tentative out there. I almost get the feeling like they're feeling one another out still, which is strange to get into the third set. But I don't know. Cash is certainly in there with a real chance if he can get on top of that net as quick as possible.
And he hasn't been doing that, Nuke. He just really stopped seizing the opportunities, even forcing some opportunities to get in there.
Were you surprised if you were coaching him on the court, you know, like Davis Cup after that first set? Would you have said, just
keep going,
get in?
keep going, keep the pressure on?
Yeah.
Love 15.
Now, just to explain why that might be that he didn't, is a thing like center court nerves. I don't mean he would be nervous, but that he might just not be concentrating on the job because of the pressure out there on the center court. Big occasion, semi-final. 20,000 people.
That's the running forehand I alluded to earlier. Lendl makes so well, and we'll take another look.
Love 30.
Going to be late getting there. Top spin just threads the needle. All Cash can do is look at it. Love 30.
Cash is coming in. Volley's long.
Love 40.
Love 40.
A couple of very positive shots from Lendl there. He really went after them. Cash did well to pick up the first volley that good.
$15.40.
Still break point.
And the break is achieved by Von Lendl. He leads 3-2 in the third set. Sets are 1-all.
Lendl leads 3 games to 2.
Back at the National Tennis Center. Lendl in the near court. Pat Cash at the other end.
That's a good point from Cash. That's what he's got to do this game if he doesn't want to
15.
sort of slowly get put out of this match. This is the time when he's got to come back and hit Lendl hard.
Lendl just broke Cash. Well, he can't do much with that. Cash has just changed
15
shirts
all.
for the third time.
Ace number 3 for Lendl.
Lendl at the net. It's the fourth time.
30-15.
That's the lineup tomorrow on CBS. The NFL today begins it all. Dallas at New York. Both those teams won their openers. The game of the day probably is Green Bay against the Los Angeles Raiders.
Oh. Had not been doing that earlier.
40-15.
That change came in the last game, didn't it, over Lendl?
Get that feeling he can win now.
He's got the feeling.
Yeah, for the first time in the match, probably, he's starting to believe that he's going to win the match.
Game Lendl.
Game Lendl, he leads 4-2 now. Cash having a little difficulty.
4-2.
Would you think he should be serving and volleying regularly or mixing it up, Tony?
Well, I'd like to see him serve and volley more, and then if Lendl gets too tough on it, then start mixing it up. But when he's kicked that ball high on Lendl's backhand, Lendl has had trouble with it.
Good lob. These balls and the
15
pace
left.
of the court, which I'd say is a medium-fast pace of court, you come in on a good approach shot like Cash just did, deep.
You're in pretty good shape, aren't you?
Well, maybe they'll get some by you, but not too many.
The event you don't know, John Newcomb
30 love.
played a match earlier this morning, 35 and over, semifinal match against Stan Smith. So he speaks with authority.
Not too authoritative. I lost.
You won the first set.
Ball. $30-15. 40-15.
Just watching that play there, the serve, first serve to the forehand, come into a positive volley to the backhand. Lendl's got a big grip change from forehand to backhand. Not a bad play, Tony.
He can pull it off.
Yeah, bit risky going to the forehand,
Yeah.
but
Pat actually has mixed his serves up pretty well. He's broken some wide here in the deuce court that have been effective. Tried to again. He's had difficulty hitting Lendl's backhand on the second serve here in the deuce court because Ivan tries to step around it.
Game cash.
Game to cash. Lendl still leads 4-3 in the third.
Lendl lead. Seats, please.
National Tennis Center, the stadium, and the site today of a great day of tennis.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Right now, it's Pat Cash of Australia against Ivan Lendl of Czechoslovakia. Sets are 1-all.
Quiet, please.
Lendl leads 4-3 in the third. Still to come, the women's final between Martina Navratilova and Chris Evert Lloyd as they wait for the crowd to settle down. Then after that, it'll be Connors against McEnroe.
It's Lendl serving with a break. So he's in the driver's seat a little bit right now.
Oh. 15 love.
College football at the half. Michigan 6-0 over number 1 ranked Miami of Florida. Ohio State 15, Oregon State 14, fourth quarter. Penn State 10-10 against Rutgers.
30 love.
Pat Cash talking to himself now.
Lendl's 5th ace of this match.
I think it's 3 in the last 2 games.
40
isn't it?
love.
Yes,
So he has really picked up the pace in the last 10 or 15 minutes.
something he was not doing earlier in the match. He wasn't serving well.
He was at 38% early in the match.
Game Lendl.
Strong game. 5-3. Lendl
Lendl
leads.
leads 5-3.
Cash appears to be a little dejected and perhaps a little confused here. He certainly has slipped away from his game plan, which was to press Lendl, rush, get to the net as much as possible.
Asking the umpire to ask the crowd to be quiet. It's a funny feeling down on that court when you're playing. If there's talk going on in the stadium, it comes down like a big echo onto the court.
And 15 love.
You get the feeling, consequently, that you're not one with the crowd. You know, they're separated from you. Whereas when it's quiet and all your attention's on you, you feel that you're with the crowd and it's all part of the same action. Shot.
$30 love.
He hasn't done this since the first set. Early racket preparation, a little bit of a wrist snap. Thing though, Lendl couldn't get to it. We come back live with a good serve.
40 love.
Remember in the second set in a game set like this, you felt that Lendl might be coasting a little bit on Cash's serve.
Right, because he has a service break. Can be dangerous, but
Game cash.
Game to cash. Lendl leads 5-4 in the third set. We'll be back with more tennis action after this word from your local
Lendl leads
stations.
5-4.
Second serve from Ivan Lendl. Serving at 5-4 in the third. Sets are 1 apiece.
Lendl's shots. Them were landing very
15
short in the
love.
court. The second serve was very short. I'd like to see Cash get into the net on some of those, take the opportunity. Long rallies are going to just fall into Lendl's favour. That's what he'd like to have.
You're not going to beat him much from the baseline, are you?
No way.
Pat Cash isn't going to, because he's going to eventually make a mistake.
There's a short ball there.
A good try by Cash. Good tactic. Just missed the volley.
I think Lendl saw him coming in and kept it very low. Should have tippy-toed in. Good play. I guess he realizes he's got to get to the net.
40 love.
Wrong-footed Lendl on this one. Lendl made a real good play. You can see he had to turn around, change his direction.
3 set points for Lendl.
Third set
goes to Lendl. 6-4. Cash won the first set 6-3. Lendl came back 6-3 in the second. And now he takes a 2-1 set lead. Cash will scream partially sideways. It was good.
love 15.
Coming next, women's finals. Martina Navratilova against Chris Evert-Lloyd. The 61st meeting between those two. The series stands at 30 apiece.
I'm not sure how
15 all.
Cash knew to wait cross court, because this is where Lendl normally rolls it down the line. See, this ball is not deep. Normally Lendl goes down the line, but Cash was waiting for the cross court. Must have seen something. It worked.
There's something else that'll work.
30-15.
Would think Lendl would be feeling a lot happier now
Oh.
than he did an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, after that first set, he wasn't sure what had hit him, I don't think.
40-15.
Lendl saying to himself, don't block it back, hit it. Get that racket head through the ball.
When you stand back behind the baseline, as Lendl does, he's there so he can swing at it. As against standing inside the baseline or near it where you might have to block it because you don't have time to take the swing.
That looks like the Cash of the first set. He wins the first game of set number 4.
Cash wins the first game, 4th set.
That's the story. Pat Cash won the first set 6-3. Lendl came back 6-3 in the second, then won the third 6-4, and Pat Cash has won the first game of the 4th set. Pat Summerall with John Newcomb and Tony Traver. This is a men's semifinal of the 1984
please, ladies and
U.S.
gentlemen.
Open Tennis Championship.
Thank you.
Well, first serve percentage has come up a little bit to 55%. One stage Lendl was down at 38. Cash dropped down under 50, so he's gotten it back up a little bit.
Cash wants to wait a minute until things settle down. Crowd still buzzing after the last court change. Again.
By the exit, please, north end. 15 all.
You watch Pat Cash hit some forehands. That was a difficult one to try. Sometimes he doesn't have the arm follow through the shot. He sort of snaps the wrist, just pops the head up the back of the racket. And it's not very effective.
Lendl got the short ball and he nailed it. 40-15.
He's swinging a lot freer now. Getting more depth on his drives. Versus.
Almost hit the tape and fell over.
40-30.
40-30.
Ball! Lendl. Games are 1-all.
Lendl levels at 1.
Didn't win the point, but good tactic. First time since I've been here, Tony, in the last, 45 minutes, that he has actually done that. Taken the second serve.
And Pat has missed some forehand volleys. And I think he's a little shaky about that now.
What is he doing wrong on that forehand volley?
When the ball is low, he's not getting any underspin on, any backspin on. He's sitting a little too flat, I think, and it's just flying off on him.
Shot.
Love 15.
Lendl has been to the net 4 times. Cash 58 times.
He's perfect at Lendl the net, isn't he?
You'd have to wonder why he wasn't coming in more, wouldn't you?
It's a fall.
all. Just looking down at that past champions box, Jack Kramer, Don Budge, Frank Parker. A great moment for a 19-year-old, you know, playing in front of 20,000 people, TV audience.
Big Satius in the middle.
All those great champions sitting right on court watching you, passing judgment.
All you're going to do is admire shots like that. It's 15-30.
Well, you could try and get your volley a little deeper, too. Might stop him from doing that to you.
This previous volley was not a good one by Cash right here. He didn't do anything with it. He sort of blocked it, didn't get it too deep, didn't have much pace on it, and he gave Lendl one more swing. And if you keep doing that, they're going to beat you. You got to get that volley above the top of the net and try to really hurt somebody with it, knock it away for a winner.
Ace number 7 for Pat Cash. 40-30. Trying to hang in there. It's Pat Cash, 19 years old, from Australia. Call a fault. Lendl's walking off. Cyclops did beat. So much for that. Crowd still shuffling around, and umpire Charles Beck asking them to get settled as quickly as possible and to be quiet.
Please.
It's an impossible task.
That's hopeless, isn't it? Now an airplane comes over as well.
Ball.
Pat Cash has to try to make something happen, in my opinion. He did that in the first set by being aggressive, making some good shots, and he sort of pulled his horns in, has been playing more carefully, and as a result, he's getting farther behind.
15 all.
So what he needs to do now is sort of go for broke, eh? Get in there and...
Yeah, I think you got to take it away from Lendl. He has the ability. It may not happen. That's right. It may not work, but what he's doing now isn't working.
30-15.
No, staying back and rallying with Lendl is not the answer to winning. But, you know, on the other hand, if Lendl keeps a good depth on his shots, it's difficult to get in.
So let's see how deep this second serve goes and see if it's an opportunity for Cash to come if he wants to.
Discouraged about that. He's just got to keep doing it.
40,
Right
15.
Second serve was very short.
40-15.
The tactic was fine, but there's a very, very short approach. Unforced errors, 31 for Cash, 10 for Lendl.
Game Lendl.
2-2, fourth set. Lendl holds.
2 all.
Again, it's easy for us to sit up here and make suggestions and be critical at times, but it's something else when you're down there. You think of Pat Cash, age 19, semis at Wimbledon, semifinals of the U.S. Open. Pretty good.
And again, you still forget from time to time that Lendl is only 24.
But he's been around a long time now. He's got a lot of experience. See some good quick hands here at the net.
Love 15.
Right, a little half volley drop shot there, not quite short enough. Now the good stuff. Cash got there, but popped the wrist a little bit too much and hit it long. Back live at Love 15.
$15 all.
Cash can hang in there in this set up to 4 all, 5 all. Lendl might start to get a little nervous because he's got to be thinking, gee, if I lose this set, suddenly it's into the fifth.
And when you get into a set, it's 4 all, 5 all. Lightning seems to strike, you know, a double fault and a quick volley and a let court or something. All of a sudden, you got a service break.
We're 2-2 in the fourth.
Perfect.
Volley.
Excellent.
That was a better forehand volley that time. And I guess the
30,
scary thing for
50.
Lendl would be that Cash is really an unknown quantity. He's, you know, he doesn't know what he's going to do in the fifth set in the semifinal.
This is only the third time they've played.
Yeah, and Lendl's supposed to win. He knows that. Everybody else knows that, at least on the record. Oh, yeah.
$30 all.
On the run, Lendl makes the forehand along the line, down the line, 99% of the time. Here he is, takes the loop swing, rolls it down the line.
Hard for him to get that across court because he gets it a bit late.
30 all.
They've been at it 2 hours.
$40-30.
That's been an effective shot for Lendl throughout this match. He's made several of them, and he's forced a couple of weak smashes from Pat Cash because he could barely get his racket on the ball.
Game Cash.
Game Cash, he holds serve, leads 3-2 in the fourth.
Cash leads 3 games to 2.
Yvonne Lendl
Quiet, please,
will
ladies
be
and gentlemen.
serving. He leads 2-1.
Quiet, please.
Will be serving in the 4th set at 2-3.
Just thinking about Martine and Chris in the locker room, waiting patiently, and I'm sure a little nervously.
And I'm sure hoping for a wind change so those planes will go away. That's the way it is at the U.S. Open.
Cash thought the serve was wide. He didn't really come out of that corner after he made the return of serve very quickly. Smart play by Lendl.
30 love.
As he was going back for the lob, he looked.
Took a little peek, didn't he?
Yep, and he looked to see that, and he saw Cash coming in. You see Winters there, 26-18. He saw Cash coming in and ended up making a terrific topspin offensive lob. Lendl's holding his shots better now. He's not rushing things. He took his time there. When Cash didn't recover quickly in the middle, he knew he had an opening down the line.
Yeah, Lendl's looking very comfortable at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Sure of what he's going to do. But that's at the moment.
Second serve.
40 love.
Unfortunately, they're starting to come over us now.
Yeah. I don't think they're as bad as they used to be, though.
No. They're not flying directly over the stadium.
Game, Lendl.
Lendl gets even at 3 in the 4th. He leads 2-1.
3-all. New balls.
Cash will serve with new balls.
Last 2 sets, Lendl's really won his serve very, very easily.
Quickly.
Yep, he's the second game of the 3rd set did go several points. Then Lendl won a love game, lost 1 point, another love game, lost 2 points, 1 point, 1 point. So he's really cruising very nicely now on his own serve.
Out. 15 love.
Oh.
30 love.
It's a great touch. It looks like he's going to do what we were talking about at the moment. Get the score up to 4-all, 5-all in this set.
It's that low forehand volley that, not in my opinion, not quite enough underspin for control.
The racket face is too flat onto the ball.
40-15.
Lendl thought it was a fault.
Oh, yeah, and so did Cash. I think this is a case where the serve landed beyond the range of Cyclops, the umpires get sort of mesmerized. That's Charles Beck.
Lendl wants to discuss it.
40-15.
There's a plane going over and he can't.
He's going to come discuss it now. Here he comes.
They call the score at 40-15. Cash says nothing.
This ball is this far out, which is more than 12 inches, so you have to call it. If you don't see it, at least look where he's standing. He's trying to tell you that the ball was out.
He didn't come to me and say, I want to change any calls. I can't change it.
You're just lucky the mic is here. The other way you would hear something.
Well, what Ivan is saying is what I mentioned a moment ago. Cyclops covers approximately 12 inches behind the service line. If the ball lands beyond that, it does not beep, and it's up to the umpire to call it out because they don't have a lines person. There is Cyclops. So it's 40-15.
Tough to argue with that box. Lendl's really upset.
He leads 4-3.
That's coming next. Martina
Thank you.
Navratilova against Chris Evert Lloyd in the women's finals of 1984. This is a men's semifinal. Ivan Lendl to serve after the crowd settles down. He is serving in the fourth set at 3-4. He leads 2-1.
Smart play by Lendl.
Come on.
Been to the net 5 times now.
15 love.
Won all 5 points.
Cash moving all over the court. It was like just couldn't get the ball away from Lendl.
That last forehand, Cash, man, I thought he
Could have hit
like,
it harder.
Yeah, he hit it like he thought he had the opening. Just get it in the court.
Can't get one of those first 2 points on Lendl's serve, can he? He's always behind 30 love. Hard to get pressure on your opponent.
Only once in the last 2 sets has Cash won the first point on Lendl's serve.
That's a shot he used effectively in the first set. Hasn't been able to do it since.
Was he chipping it or
No,
hitting
he was
it?
going over it,
Hitting
like
it
his
just like
doubles
that.
return.
Just like that. Another easy service game for Lendl. It's 4-all.
4-all.
Let's see what Lendl can do here. I'm sure he'll try to pour the pressure on now. Last thing he would like to do is to get it into a tiebreaker. Up to Cash to come right back at him.
Here's all you have to do to win a point in this league. Cash is out of the doubles alley. Lendl rips across court. He gets there and gets it down low. Lendl's in hoping for a sitter. Oh, what a great point.
Good court speed from Cash.
Mm-hmm.
He's very quick around the court.
Down the line again.
There's that forehand volley, very tentative. The court was open for a decisive cross-court volley then.
Like Cash perhaps was trying to make a drop volley. Got it way too deep.
Good serve.
30-15.
just what he needed. As I said at the start of the game, Lendl throwing everything he's got at Cash. He'd love to break serve here. Oh, another good serve. Changed it up a little bit then.
Took a little off, didn't he?
Took it off and brought it into the body.
Gets
Got him
it up
up
high
high.
on that backhand side. When Lendl tries to drive that with topspin, he doesn't have much success.
40-15.
Two excellent serves from Cash.
Might go wide here. He hasn't done that for a while.
Another excellent serve. Cash holds. We'll be back with more tennis action after this word from your local station.
Cash leads 5-4.
The 1984 U.S. Open is sponsored by Team Xerox, the right products and the right people all working together. AT&T, the more you hear, the better we sound. And by your local BMW dealer, BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
I guess they haven't tampered.
The crowd really getting into it now, and Pat Cash acknowledging after another shirt change.
That's got to give him a boost. I don't think that's going to help Lendl because he knows it was for Cash. They're pulling for Cash to win this one, go to the fifth set.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
That can get the heart pumping a little bit.
See if we can win this first point here with a little chip and charge, eh? Off a short second serve.
Look out. The top of the net.
15 love.
A little of the chip out.
That's right.
It was a mistake to charge.
Make it a little bit of a sitter, didn't it?
Yeah.
What he should have done then was stick his tongue out as he ran in, full of face. Put him off.
Again, a shaky forehand volley by Pat Cash.
Just had nothing on it at all. He knows it too. He just had a little practice of it. He's pushing it more than hitting it, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not giving that little karate chop the punch. He's just sort of blocking it.
Good return.
That's the way to go.
30-15.
That was interesting. He came in on Lendl's forehand, and Cash was covering the down-the-line forehand, forcing Lendl to try for the cross-court. And he didn't look comfortable at all on it.
On serve the last 14 games.
Lendl getting stronger and stronger.
It better be. They're going to go into a tiebreak pretty soon if something doesn't happen.
Game Lendl. 5-all.
It's always interesting to me when you watch a tennis match. Pat thinks he was wrong, so he's angry. The other guy walks off like, of course it was. You know, it was obvious.
Level at 5 now. Lendl is ahead 2-1 in this men's semifinal. Now Cash will serve. Games are 5-all in the fourth.
Nitty-gritty time now, Patrick. Tension.
No empty seats.
Good slicing serve right into Lendl's body.
A lot happier on the backhand volley.
Much.
Than on the forehand, isn't he?
Much sharper.
Serve and volley on the second.
Yeah, I think he can kick it over and get it on the Lendl's back, and the Lendl's standing way over, but he'll probably slide back towards the middle once the toss goes up in the air.
Good serve. Way to go.
He did that to him in the first set.
Down break point when he did on a second
30
serve.
love.
I get the feeling nuclear for Cash.
I'd like to see him win the set. I think it could be a very interesting fifth set.
All right.
Yeah, Lendl doesn't think that was good.
40 love.
Ace number 9 in the record books for Cash. They're starting to get on Lendl. That won't help him. He's a sensitive kid.
Quiet, please. Game Cash.
Game to Cash. Love game. 6-5.
Cash leads 6 games to 5. Quiet,
Things
please.
are starting to heat up in the stadium a little bit. Pat Cash leading Ivan Lendl 6-5 in the fourth. The match has been going now 2 hours, 23 minutes.
Fans are starting to get involved now, and they're pulling for Cash to try to take this to 5 sets.
Good. That's what he was doing in the first set, huh?
Yep.
Love 15.
It's hard to figure out why he stopped doing it in the second, in the third.
We certainly haven't been able to figure it out. He was so effective in that first set.
That's the first time that Cash won the first point on Lendl's serve in this set.
Real pressure on Lendl now. Not only is
Love
Cash
30.
coming right at him, but the crowd is pulling for Cash to win this game and the set.
Quiet, please.
If it gets into the fifth and the crowd are pulling Cash through like this.
I think Lendl might spin a serve here just to get the first serve in. Tried to.
Took that foot volley in the air.
15-30.
He was going to come.
Very nervous shot.
15-40.
2 set points for Cash.
That was almost like he believes he's lost the set already.
Crowd, of course, would like to see a fifth set. Ball.
Now I think you'll see Cashy coming in.
See a short second serve here.
Oh. That was a good one.
Was out. Called out on the baseline. People didn't hear the call.
30-40.
Gee, if that was out, it had to be very, very close.
It looked
Quiet,
out.
please.
And you're right, it was close. It's still set point.
Cash trying to break Lendl. Win the fourth set.
And he didn't do what got him to 15-40 on the
Stayed
serve
back.
come in. Yeah, he stayed back.
Take a chance here.
He did.
Boy, it was sitting up too, wasn't it?
Deuce.
He took the chance. He just didn't make the shot. Deuce.
They relieved Ivan Lendl. Still not out of the woods. First serve deserted him.
Both these guys are very, very fit.
Advantage Lendl.
Lendl's only got one first serving out of 7 this game.
And he spun that one in.
You didn't spin that one.
That's out.
Game Lendl.
Lendl survives what looked like a certain service break and pulls even at 6 and will go to the tiebreaker.
Game for 6-all. Tiebreak.
And of course, in the tiebreaker, the first person to reach 7 points with at least a 2-point advantage is the winner. Cash to serve the first point.
From 15-43 out of the next 4 points, Cash didn't get the ball back into play.
He went for big ones, and I'm not so sure he might have chipped it and run in, charge and make Lendl beat you. Of course, that's history now.
Cash will serve 1 point. Crowd loving it.
Yeah. This is what they're hoping for, and they're getting it. And there's more to come.
Lendl will serve 2 points now. More to come, meaning the women's final comes up, and after that, it's Connors and McEnroe.
He missed it. It was wide.
2-0.
This time there is no argument. Cash is up 2-0.
Cash going to the towel, making Lendl wait. Not a bad play.
Wide, please.
Cash.
Well, you can feel the tension out there now. The crowd gets all excited, then they get quiet very quickly.
That's right, when
The hush.
Quietly excited.
Good play. Kick the serve in.
Been very effective when he can get it to Lendl's backhand side.
And particularly when he gets up high with that kick.
That's right.
After this point, the players will change ends. They play 6 points and then change ends. Cash did not do much with his volleying opportunities.
No, he's crooked on himself again for that forehand volley, not putting it away. Good play.
That's what I was suggesting when he had those set points. Rather than go for the big one, do that and get in and say, beat me, mister.
That's right.
There's your chip in charge.
You get the ball in play and you're in on the net, and the guy's got to thread the needle past you.
And he's down the set points.
That's right. 2 sets all if he misses.
Lendl will serve at 2-4. Then the tiebreaker.
He's down a mini break point in the tiebreak. Down 1 point on serve at the moment.
4-3 Cash.
If he holds these two serves, he gets to set points. Now, again, Lendl standing to his left over near the doubles alley, hoping to get a forehand. Let's hope he can get a first serve in here. That'll put all sorts of pressure on Lendl's backhand. Unless he goes for the wide one. Yeah, I was going to say he has not gone wide for a while. I think this would be an opportune time to try to break one out wide, hit it up the sideline a little bit so it takes Lendl out of court. Return by Ivan Lendl under pressure.
5-4.
Nothing wrong with the serve. Serve was in the corner, deep.
If he'd have done that on the first serve, Lendl wouldn't have been trying to run around that.
That was just a great shot from Lendl.
It was.
Under extreme pressure, too, because he was going to be down 3 set points if he missed it.
Now Lendl serving at 4-5.
Whoa.
Missed that one by 2 yards.
Still think it's the right play, just didn't make the shot.
It was real gusty just at that moment. You could see Cash looked up at the flags blowing around the breeze.
Yeah, but I think it's different up there than it is down on the court level. It swirls down there. It is gusting a little bit. We can get this one back into play.
Goodness me.
6-5 Cash.
It is now set point for Pat Cash.
That has to shake you up something awful. When your big weapon just chokes on you.
Ivan Lendl did not use the cords at all on that one.
No.
Hit it right on the throat.
I don't think he wanted to hit the ball.
If I were whispering in his ear, Nuke, I'd suggest he kick one up on the backhand the first serve and get in behind it.
What does he do? Go down the middle again?
I wouldn't. I'd kick it to the backhand. Lendl has to come into the court a little bit. I'd go in too. There he's got it.
Game in 4th set. 7 games to 6.
Sets are 2-all.
Tony, how much do you think the crowd has played in the 4th set when they started really getting behind Cash?
Oh, I think it helped Cash a great deal, and it hurt Ivan.
That's the big thing, I think. Do you think it hurt him like he was wondering why the crowd was sort of pulling for his opponent?
Well, it's just, all of a sudden the whole stadium, 20,000 are coming down on you, pulling for the other guy. That can't help you.
Well, they were pulling for another set, too.
Sure.
So what do you think the crowd will do in this fifth set if it gets tight?
I don't know.
Will they be even, or will they pull for
I
cash?
think they'll pull for cash. They like the underdog.
Do you think the crowd don't like Lendl? Is that what?
Oh, I don't think so.
No.
I think he's overcome much of that.
The other
He
kid's
is.
the underdog, and he's younger.
Transplanted New Yorker. Now the underdog, I think, is what it is. Golf is the only sport where they don't pull for the underdog.
40-15.
So how much do you think the crowd will be pulling for Connors later on when he plays against McEnroe?
Absolutely. And
Well,
I think
you reporter?
Martina will face a little bit of that. Trying to be a journalist.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find out from the experts.
40-30.
Fourth double fault by Ivan Lendl.
That's not bad when you think you're into the fifth set. They haven't even won a set. That's not bad at all.
Good return from Cash. Deuce.
Lendl seems a little bit flat to me right now, a little bit concerned.
A little let down after that tiebreaker.
Not getting any first serves in.
Be a let down if he loses this service game.
Well, he's got a chance to lose it.
Cash is now playing as if he believes that he can win. The whole attitude has changed.
Advantage, Cash.
Let's go back and check that times they've been to the net. Lendl 8 times, won 7 points. Cash 92 times.
Gives you an idea how they plan to play the match, huh?
A little bit.
Break point, second serve.
Cash breaks, and he wins the first game of the
He
final
wins the
set.
first game, final set.
Pat Summerall with Tony Trabert and John Newcomb. That's the situation in this men's semifinal between Ivan Lendl and Pat Cash. Pat Cash will serve, and he's leading 1-love in the final set.
Got a barn burner here now.
Love 15.
Good depth on Lendl's shot. Service breaks the first break in 18 games, so combination of some good serving and some not so good returning.
Love 30.
Reminds me of a lot of the returns Borg used to hit off the wood that go up in the air and put you in terrible trouble with the volley.
Getting some awkward spot. Cash in a bit of trouble here at love 30.
He's spinning crazily.
15-30.
Two miss hits in a row by Lendl.
Lendl's racket's had a flat.
They say you pay for the whole thing, you might as well use the whole thing, not just the strings.
I'm just wondering if there's any physical side coming into this match on Lendl's part, as well as the mental thing of the crowd.
They've been out there
perhaps
for
upsetting him.
2 hours and 45 minutes now.
Just have a close look at Lendl's footwork.
bad first forehand volley by Cash got him in trouble. He's now down a break point.
30-14.
Just held that racket out, just blocked the ball, didn't put anything on it at all. Paid the price.
Court was open, wasn't it?
Even if you don't get it by the guy, you put him in more trouble.
First serve gone off in this game. All of a sudden tossing the ball low.
Oh, super shot by Lendl. That's his favorite backhand return, backhand passing shot.
Cash gets a break, and Lendl breaks right back.
They went 18 games without a break, and then they go back-to-back breaks. Well, that's a big boost for Ivan Lendl. 3-0 in 5-set matches.
Cash is saying, can you tell the people to stop yelling out during the point?
Please don't call out during the playing of a point. It's distracting to both players, and we want to be as fair as possible. Thank you.
Nobody anywhere in tennis hits that shot better than Ivan Lendl,
or more frequently.
Love.
First 5-set match in this tournament. Excellent.
Really good racket work from Cash that time because Lendl's shot was deep. A lot of topspin on it.
Got it right down at Lendl's feet.
Funny how Lendl's serve went right off at the end of that fourth set. Right, just for
That is Lendl.
Twice in a row, Lendl's gone to the forehand in the deuce court. Cash has not gotten it back in play.
Lendl leads 2 games to 1 in the final set. Lendl leads Cash 2 games to 1 in the final set. Pat Cash to serve. Lendl long, This is just the first. We've been promising you
15 love.
a great day of tennis here at the U.S. Open, and this is just the first in our serial. Still to come, Martina Navratilova against Chris Evert Lloyd in the women's final. And after that, the two American left-handers, Jimmy Connors against John McEnroe. So there's still a lot in store.
But get comfortable at home. Stay with us.
Oh.
30 love.
That serve to the forehand has worked well for Cash against Lendl, but normally on the first serve, when Lendl is standing back farther, when he moves in around that baseline, he gets it earlier. He's not drawn out of court.
Forehand volley again. That was a sit-up.
30 all.
Hard to win a point.
Lendl has really, on the big points, he is tightening up on his forehand.
Has not hit his forehand as well today as we normally see him. Could be the occasion.
Game to Cash. One of John Newcomb's old buddies is down with Brent Musburger. Let's go down for a chat.
Certainly is, Pat. Fred Stolle. And Fred, we want to say hello to all the folks in Australia who have been watching our coverage. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning over there in Melbourne and the rest of those great cities. They stay up all night over in your homeland to watch this match?
Well, I think they may have set the clock a little early, and it's Sunday morning down there. They're probably having some early morning breakfast with a couple of six-packs.
How about the youngster, Pat Cash? What have you thought about his performance so far, Fred?
I think he's had a great year, Brent. He started off a fantastic tournament at Wimbledon where he kept the Aussies up there till early hours in the morning. This program here doesn't start till the early hours in the morning, and I think he's improved his temperament a lot. And as the boys have mentioned on the telecast, I think what's let him down here a little bit today has been that forehand volley. The tactics have been is to go in on a short ball to Lendl's backhand, but he has had a few opportunities to put some forehand volleys away and not done so. Also, right now, I think that shadow that you can see on the court is going to play a pretty important part in this fifth set.
Fred, what about 1-love in the fifth set here? Cash serving. Did he start to think he could win?
I think he might have felt he had a pretty good chance, Nick. And again, a couple of errors came in. He's been serving pretty well, though.
He didn't serve well in that
No, not in
game,
that game. But as you know, getting into that situation, I felt he was lucky, a bit fortunate to get out of the fourth set. Lendl didn't serve well in the tiebreaker, didn't get a first serve in, and finishing up with a couple of double faults to lose that first service game in the fifth. Then Cash has got to think that he's got a chance to get into his first major final.
40-15.
A couple of those forehand volleys, Nick, reminiscent of yours.
It's 40-15. Game for Lendl. 3-2
Lendl
in the
leads
fifth.
3 games to 2.
This match is now 3 hours old, and Pat Cash gets ready to serve. Just on the edge of that shadow. It's the big scoreboard up on top of the stadium that in the late afternoon causes that. Here you can see the shadow across the court, and here is what causes it. Bright sun in the background, and it is bright. Perfect day.
Love.
Don't forget, we're not nearly through yet. Coming next, the women's final. Navratilova against Everett Lloyd. And after that, the other men's semifinal. Connors and McEnroe.
40 love.
And Tony, speaking of all that coming up, what does this do, this long wait now, to, let's say, McEnroe and Connors?
Well, that makes you edgy, in my opinion. It's tough to sit back there at the hotel watching on television, trying to decide when to eat, you know, when to get their hit in and all that kind of stuff. It is difficult. I mean, it's equal for one and the other, but it's still not simple. It's about 13 minutes after 4 here Eastern time, and that's about the time the men's final will start tomorrow. And this match isn't over yet. There's the women's final, and then the other men's semi.
Cash gets even at 3.
This is about the stage in the 4th set where the crowd really started to get behind Cash.
3-all.
They've been a little quiet so far.
I think they're feeling the tension the same way, Nuke. They got what they wanted, a 5-setter.
Now they're not sure. They don't want to do it to Lendl again.
Right.
We'll see.
15 love.
Cashy doesn't like the call. Maybe he's mad at himself for not going after it.
I think he thought it was long.
But still, that's what I mean. But he's mad you got to go play it and hope you hear the call. If you don't hear the call, at least you've got the ball in play.
15 love.
Love.
We call a young lob. Good shot.
Really held the racket a long time, didn't he?
30-15.
Got it ready early, waited. He had a good long follow through, carrying that ball down the line. That was a shot that was very effective for Cash in the first set. He really hasn't made it much since then. He's gone to the underspin, the chip backhand more.
Unbelievable shot.
Yeah, super shot. He had to go for it. He was way out of court. Right selection here. Let's have a look at Lendl. He plays it good. Nothing wrong with that. Just a super shot from Cash. Scores at 30-all. Crowd starting to buzz.
I don't know if you saw it, but Cash really had that racket back early. So when he got over there on the dead run, all he had to do was pull the trigger and bring that racket forward.
Lendl waiting now for the crowd to settle down.
Well, the scoreboard is not operating at the moment. They had an incorrect score up, and now they've still got it incorrect.
300 to 330.
If I were a player, I wouldn't be waiting. We know what the score is.
Thank you.
30-all to score. They finally got it corrected.
Well, maybe I would if I could do that.
6 aces for Lendl.
40-30.
I think Lendl made a good play there by waiting for a little bit, let things settle down after that last point.
Shot by Lendl.
He leads 4-3 in the final. We'll be back with more tennis action after this word from your local station.
Lendl leads 4-3.
Here's the last point once again. Good deep volley here. And Lendl fools him by rolling across court because he goes down the line the majority of the time. We're coming back live with Pat Cash to serve at 3-4 in the final set. Men's semifinal U.S. Open action. Been a beauty. Hope you're enjoying it.
Double fault by Cash. That's 4 for him.
Not the way to start off a game at 3-4 down in the 5th. First serve left him in his first service game of this set when he led 1-love in a break. Whoa.
That good high kicker up on Lendl's backhand that's been very, very successful for Pat Cash. Got him.
Yeah, that's a super shot off the backhand. Top spin lob.
15-30.
I always get very envious when I see that.
Yeah.
I tried one once. It went over the stand on the full.
That's about 6 points he's won. The top spin lob.
First one off the backhand.
Good serve.
Talking about Connors and McEnroe having to wait and prepare, what about Martina and Chris? They would have had to be ready to go on in the tiebreak in the 4th set.
Right. Same situation.
Get ready, get unready. Psyched up, unpsyched up.
Oy.
40-30.
5th set first serve percentage. Lendl 52, Cash 45. Could be better than that for both of them. That'll help. Cash gets even at 4 in the final.
I'm surprised there haven't been more service breaks. Been 2 in this set, but if your service percentage is that low, the first serve's into play.
5, please.
Now getting a little tense, isn't it?
Yeah, both players have to feel the pressure now. I don't care who you are or how good you are.
You think if Cash wins, Nuke, they might open the taverns in Australia?
Sunday morning. It's a great shot. I tell you what they'll do. They'll watch the women's singles final, the other men's singles semis,
15.
and then they'll open the taverns.
Oh, huge.
Pretty good time to come back with something, wasn't it? That's his 7th ace.
15 all.
That one just whistled.
That was really nailed.
30-15.
Going to hear some stomping and cheering after this game.
By Lendl.
Game Lendl.
Lendl wins the game and leads 5-4 in the final set.
Lendl leads 5-4.
5-4 Lendl in the final set. Cash will serve.
Quiet, please, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Umpire Charles Beck asking for quiet.
Tough assignment. Full house and very
Quiet,
excited
please.
at this stage.
And Cash waiting for things to settle.
Trying to sort of steer that serve in a little bit now.
Understandably so.
Yeah, not working.
Look out now.
Love 15.
Good second serve, but he went after it. Nice to see a positive forehand volley, too,
That's what
wasn't
I was
it?
going to say. That
15 all.
was the real thing was the crisp forehand volley, because he has not done that too frequently. Looks like he changed his mind. He wasn't sure whether he was going wide or not. He
15-30.
looked back, just sort of double-checked that sideline, his position in the court after he missed it.
That's a little bit of tension in there then.
You bet.
15-30.
Lendl trying to make him hit forehand volleys, it looks like.
Great get.
Oh! Not a bad smash.
Pretty fair overhead.
That's two great points he's played under
30 all.
immense pressure.
And to Lendl's credit, he is the one that's putting that pressure on.
Made a great get.
Cash can get out of this game. He's got to be on a high.
Boy, a tough serve now. 4-5, 30 all, second serve. Yeah, it's match point. I thought it was called out.
I thought so too. The crowd thought it was good.
Gutsy try.
Match point.
Well, the Cash fans don't like it. I think Pat knew it was out.
He didn't argue much.
Nope.
Here's where he needs the first serve.
3 hours and 17 minutes later, it's match point for Lendl.
Deuce.
I think if Cash does get out of this game, you're going to see the crowd really start to get charged up.
They're charged up already. They'll be on their feet.
It's out.
No, it was good.
Called out.
That's called out. Yep. Not by much.
Advantage Cash. Five in the fifth. Lendl
Wow.
to serve.
Now Lendl's got to be thinking, am I meant to win this match?
Ooh, that was close.
Heard the beep, though.
Yep. Heard it again. 6 double faults for Lendl.
Love 15.
Love 15.
I think it was in, wasn't it?
I think it was good. Have to wait till they put the score up.
15 all.
Yep.
15 all. It was good.
Gee, he mishit it completely. And what a sitting duck he was, too. Didn't have to be a good lob to get over his head.
Cash a bit lucky there.
He was indeed. He guessed right at the end.
15-30.
Well, this is what it's all about.
That's right. Now it's a reversal of the last game, isn't it?
5 all in the fifth. 15-30. Pressure on both guys.
Cash had his go last game. Now it's Lendl's turn.
See if Cash can make himself try to come in off the return.
Of age, a great effort. He's got the people standing up for him.
15-40.
2 break points. If Lendl loses this serve, Cash will be serving for the match when we come back.
Ooh, the serve was almost long.
That's out.
Pat Cash will serve,
Quiet,
leading
please, ladies and
6-5
gentlemen.
in the fifth.
Thank you.
Backhand volley has been solid all day.
heck of a battle.
Lendl's gotten a swing at second serves in this game. Got 1 or 2 back in play.
That was a good second serve, that last one, though.
If he'd do that in the first serve, he'd be better off, because I'll be standing back farther.
He picked it, but it was too good.
Good return by Lendl.
Sure was. A 30 love serving for the match. Went after that one too.
Oh, that's a sensational shot by Lendl.
That's about 8 times he's done it,
At least.
30 all.
Yeah, they're easy to do on the unimportant points, though.
Yeah.
It's when you can do them on those big points. Well, that wasn't big. That was huge, that point. Trying for a bit too much. I guess. Got to go after it.
Break point for Lendl.
Oh, we got what's he got? 1 first serving out of 5 so far.
Yeah. And if you could whisper in his ear, you say you better kick that thing up on the backhand on the first serve and get in.
I'm sure he's whispering in his own ear.
He remembers what happened in the tiebreaker. That's what he did to win it.
Oh, yes.
Bit of a changeup.
Well, he went after it.
Deuce.
I think he's got to go for it. Go down swinging or win. Oh, yes.
Match point for Cash.
Advantage to Cash.
Just under 3.5 hours these two have been going at one another. Great lob by Ivan Lendl. Cash made a good backhand volley.
This crowd is standing up and screaming after every point.
Quiet, please.
Now we got to. Oh no! Gee, that looked good. Looked good to me.
Tough second serve now.
No comment from Lendl.
Certainly not going to give it to him.
There it is again. just great tennis.
Yeah, what a battle. Now it's break point for Lendl, trying to get even 6-all and go into the tiebreaker.
You got to hand it to Lendl the way he's fought back in this game from 30 love down.
Second break point in this game.
Cash did a lot of work in that last point too.
Oh.
Each other, Cash and Lendl.
No, it wasn't that. He was.
What was it?
Cash was pointing at the lines person who he thought made a bad call down the center service line. When Lendl pointed back, he said, "No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the lines person back there." I think Lendl at first thought he was going after him.
He did think he was talking to him at first. He started to walk toward the net, but Cash was motioning, beckoning at the lines person.
You talk about drama now. We're in the 5th set, semifinals, and we're in a tiebreaker. Another terrific topspin lob by Lendl pays off. We talked about what a great athlete Cash is and how well he can jump and so forth, but when he can't get up and get those things, you know they're in a very difficult spot.
He was there for that one, just jumped a little early. I think that goes for Pat.
I think you're right.
1-all.
1-all tiebreaker, 5th set.
Long.
2-1, Lendl.
One of the few backhand volleys, really, that Cash has missed.
First serve.
plays itself, doesn't it?
Yep.
Two cash.
Players will change ends.
Was a risky shot to try.
It was, and he had a chance to get in too.
Down the line, off a low ball.
If you make it your hero, you got a winner. Here's Lendl's reaction.
Crowd's going to be exhausted by the end of the day with women's singles final and the other men's semis to come.
You know, I'm going to say it now, but it's the kind of match that's just a shame that someone has to lose it.
I don't think Lendl was looking for that then. Serve out to the forehand on a big point like that. Good tactical play from Cash. I guess took him by surprise. Went to his strength.
Lendl will now serve 2 points.
First to reach 7.
Cash constantly wiping around his eyes. He did the same thing at Wimbledon, and I asked him about it later, and he said, I just perspire so much that perspiration keeps getting in my eyes. Lendl take a little extra time.
Lendl as emotional as I've seen him in a match.
6 for Lendl.
Some match points now for Ivan Lendl. Here's another look. Good racket preparation.
Somebody yelled out of the stand.
I know. They'll get him after the match.
Toss was up. Cash just fired his racket into the stands in disgust.
He did?
Yes.
I didn't see it.
Threw it way up into the second tier.
I don't know whether it was in disgust or whether someone wanted the racket.
The match took 3 hours and 39 minutes. And as Tony said, it's a shame either one of them had to lose. Ivan Lendl advances to the final. Stop with Pat O'Brien for a moment. We'll be chatting with them in a minute. Here comes the people's choice, Pat Cash. Pat chooses not to talk. You really can't blame him much.
No way.
Let's go down to Pat O'Brien and Ivan Lendl.
Thank you, Pat. I think this crowd would like to say this is one of the best matches we've seen here at the Tennis Center. They really enjoyed this, I think, Ivan.
I don't know if it was one of the best matches here, because I'm sure there were many very good matches here, and you know, I feel very fortunate to win this match because Pat was playing very well, and he was pushing me very far, and I had to save match point, and every time you win from match point down, it's just a little bit of luck in there too.
A little bit of luck and a great lob. The lob worked well for you today, didn't it?
Pat was closing onto the net very much. That's why he was getting so many difficult passing shots. He was volleying them away for a winner, so I said to myself, you have to try to do something else. I mean, you go down the line, he's there, you go cross court, he's there, so go over him.
What were your thoughts in the fifth set tiebreaker? It seemed to be very emotional for you. I've never seen you play this emotional.
Well, I felt very unfortunate at 5-4 when I had match point, and Pat served a good serve, and then he won the game, and then he was serving for the match, and as I said, I saved match point, and that really fired me up, and I wanted to win very badly, and I'm very happy I did.
I presume you're tired, but will you stick around and watch Jimmy Connors and John McEnroe?
No, I'm going to watch it on television unless you cut it off.
We won't cut it off. Ivan Lendl, thank you. Let's go back to Pat Summerall.
All right, Pat, thank you very much. And right now, let's go down to Brent Musburger.
All right, let us assure Ivan Lendl that we will not cut it off here tonight. Fred Stolle, what are your thoughts about your countryman, Pat Cash, and that great match we've just seen?
Well, I think, Brent, he can stand very tall. I think it was a great match. He did get upset with that one serve that would have given him another match point. But in a match like that, as Tony Trabert said, it's tough to have one player lose. And in a semi-finals of the US Open, personally, myself, I'd like to see them play it out as they do at Wimbledon, because that in a semi-finals, or in the US Open for that matter, something like that, a Russian roulette in the fifth set, with such a great match as this one, it's a shame to see it in there.
For those who aren't aware, Fred, how do they finish a fifth set at Wimbledon?
Well, Wimbledon, they play it out. There's a tiebreaker in the first 4 sets, and in the final and fifth and final set, they play it out. So you've got to win it. It could go on all night. You fellas may have had to cut it off.
Billie Jean, let's take another look at match point. You were as thrilled about this match as any I've seen you witness.
Oh, I was so excited. I thought Pat Cash actually lost the match on his backhand down the line, but here you see emotional Ivan Lendl, and I think that's the change in him since the French. He is very honest with us that he really wants to win, and he lets you know it.
Fred, you made the same observation as you were watching this. You said Ivan is not nearly as nervous or tentative as he would have been prior to winning the French Open.
Yes, well, I agree with Billie Jean, and we discussed that here. I think that since the French, and he's played in the final, he's won a big tournament, I think he is more relaxed under pressure, and I think that showed there today. On set point, he scrambled and he put up a good lob. It wasn't a nervous one, and it was 6 inches inside the baseline. He came back from adversity, and as he said, it's only a couple of points here in a match like that, and he paid due credit to Pat Cash, and you know, he's a great sportsman.
Oh, he sure is. And the great drama is just beginning here at the United States Open. Match number 1 still to come, of course, the women's final. Martina Navratilova and Chris Evert Lloyd, and then John McEnroe against Jimmy Connors. We'll be right back.